Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Discriminating Gamer. You know, if there's one thing in this world that always gives me butterflies, it's caterpillars. Today, we're taking a look at Veiled Fate from IB Studios. Now, this is a strategic deduction game for 2 to 8 players. Now, the cool thing about this one is this is a unique combination of strategic and social deduction for anyone who loves table talk. So it sounds like you're going to have to try to influence each other, convince people of one thing or another. I don't know. But basically you're trying to influence the fate of 9 different demigods. And you know what? Deduction games were never my big thing. I'm getting into them more and more, but this one just sounds really interesting. So let's go down to the table. Let's get this unboxed and let's see what's inside. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at Veiled Fate. Now, this is a game of hidden influence. All right, like I said, 2 to 8 players. Playing time is about 60 to 120 minutes, and you're looking at about ages 14 and up. All right. Now, I'll tell you what, this game just absolutely sounds fantastic to me. Just because the strategic deduction, sitting around the table, you're trying to discern motives behind your opponent's moves, unravel their plans, while cementing basically your own unique plans. So this is a game that's going to be by Austin Harrison, Zach Dixon, Max Anderson, and Samuel Cowden. All right, and it is by IB Studios, like I said. So let's get this thing opened up. Let's see what's inside, and I'm actually really curious because for a deduction game, this is a huge box. Most deduction games are kind of smaller boxes. You don't really see them in this size. So I'm really excited to see what they have in here. Now, okay. And let's take a look at that nice artwork. I actually love that artwork right there. Really nice. Okay, get this thing opened up. Let's see. There we go. Little Ivy Studios right there. Okay. So inside, of course, we're going to get a little ad for, of course, Fractured Skies. That was a fantastic game by him. Mystic Mischief. Here's Veiled Fate and then Moonrakers. Played both of those. Very, very good games. Played that one. Very good game. Okay. So inside of here, looks like we're going to get maybe a rule book or something along those lines. Trying to find the little piece that's going to open this up, and I'm not going to find it. So let's just do that. We'll get this thing opened up. Okay. And I'll tell you what, boy, excited to look at these trays because they're really good about doing their inserts and stuff like that. Now, this rule book is going to be, it's nice and heavy. It's smaller, but it's about a 40-page rule book. So here we go. Let's see what we got inside here. All right. Okay, hidden influence, 2 to 8 players, of course. And of course, here's all the components you're going to get in the game. All right, a nice little table of contents. Here's your game overview, what page you're going to find everything on. Assembling your board. I don't know if it's going to be the same every time or if different pieces can go in different places. We'll figure that out when we get there. All right, and then of course you got to place your demigods, put all your cards out. We're ready to play. Now, here's going to be our regular gameplay. All right, the player whose demigod has the most renown at the end of the 3 ages is going to win the game. So there you go. You got 3 different ages you're going to play through. Got your player turns. There's not a real ton of text in here, a lot of pictures, so it looks like it's going to be relatively easy to just kind of worm your way through this thing. Doesn't look like it's going to be too difficult to learn based on what I'm looking at, but I'm just kind of quickly glancing over everything right now. Example of a question result. Here's scoring renown. All right. Your city cards. I will tell you what, though, there is a lot to this game for a deduction game. Oh, my. Now, if you're playing with 6 to 8 players, okay, there's some rules for you right there. Some additional rules looks like you can add to your game. And then, of course, you can have your glossary. So a little note on everything. And, of course, your credits. A little artwork. And there you go. Fantastic. Love that right there. All right. So looking inside here, what are we going to have? All right. So all game trays on the inside. Really like game trays. Okay, so let's take a look at this. So it looks like these are going to be our different gods. You know what? Let's see if we can actually get these to focus a little bit. Let's get a few of these up here. But yeah, those look really nice. Look at that. Really like to look at those. So it looks like we're going to have like this little pedestal that's going to come along with every one of them. All right. Oh, that one's backwards. There we go. That one's kind of really hard to see. Okay. Some of these, the little wash on these will make it a little easier to see, but I do like them. Okay. So I don't know if that detail is really coming across very well for you. Hopefully it is. Oh, this purple guy looks great. It's like a little Minotaur. At least he's got like a little Minotaur helm on him. Ah, I love that guy. Get that back cloak. Very nice. Just kind of bouncing around through here. No rhyme, no reason. My brain will do that. It just kind of skips ahead all the time. All right, we'll look at this guy. We got one other. Take a quick look at that figure as well. Okay, and there you go. Very nice. I like them. It's kind of interesting, these little pieces. I wonder if you have something you're going to hold up between those. I'm not really sure, but they look good. Okay, and this is just going to, of course, sit right here. Like, so we got place spots right there where things are going to go under. Okay, so let's take the lid off of this one. And this one is going to give us some big dial. Maybe that's your first player marker. I don't know, but that is cool looking. Boy, if that's your current active player or first player marker, that's sweet. I love it. All right, now it looks like we're going to get a few decks of cards in here as well. Okay, so let's see what we have. Now the slots of these cards go into in this tray, I don't know. I'm going to have to figure that one out, but that's okay. Won't be the first time, won't be the last time. Let's see what we have in here. Now, looking at the back, these look like they're all the quest cards. So I'm going to kind of fly through these things a little bit. Go ahead and give it a pause. Take a look at what they are. And like I said, I have no idea what any of these mean. So, I mean, it's just really unique. These different symbols, how that plays into this game, don't know. So all I know is, you know, IB Studios, they've come out with some really unique games, and I've enjoyed them. So I'm sure whatever they've done here is just going to be fantastic. Or it's going to be unique, if that, in any way. But I do like the looks of this. Looks like maybe that's a little image of the gods in the middle right there on some of these. Tell you what, these are like really large cards, kind of really hard to hold on to all of them. So the quality feels so good. I mean, production, everything IB Studios production is just through the roof, though. So they look very nice, very good. Destroy the demon. Got a couple more of these. All right, and there you go. And that is all of the different quests you're going to get. These are going to go somewhere in here. I'm not quite sure where, but we'll figure that one out. We're just going to put them off to the side for now. All right, so in here, what are we going to get? Okay, let's slide this one out. Now, looks like we're going to get our demigods who will claim the throne. So it looks like, I don't know what the difference is between one side or the other. Are these just the player cards? Okay, oh, all powers cost one action. These just may be your player cards, because I think every single one of these is the same. That's what it looks like. Okay, so I'll give you an idea what that's right there. Try to keep all this in for you, and there you go. So we can see what gods, what color. All right. Now let's take a look at these guys. See, oh man, you know what? I don't know. I struggle with those. I can never get those little things opened up. All right, so let's see if we can do it this way. No, we're not. I had it. Okay, now I think we got it. There we go. Okay, see if we can slide this out. Okay, there we go. All right, so what do we got for the backs of these cards? We got whatever that symbol is. Okay, then it looks like we're going to have our 3 different ages, and then we're going to have some city cards. Looks like we'll start with the city, then we'll start with ages 1 on, and then we'll go from there. And you'll probably notice a difference as soon as we get to the new card. So let's see. When smited, Demis go to the pools instead of the abyss. So there you go. All of this is going to mean something, and I'm really fascinated about how it looks. So I'm really excited to see how all this is going to come into play. Very unique. This looks very interesting. All right, now this is going to be probably our age cards. Starting with age 1 is going to be my guess. Okay. Just kind of pause if you need to. It looks like if you got up here in the upper corner, I see there's like a player count. So depending on how many number of players you have, you're going to use some of these cards. All right, and here we go. And these are whatever that symbol there on the back of these cards is. All right, so it looks like maybe it's player order, because these cards just look like just the different gods. Not seeing any difference between them, so you might be shuffling these up, and I don't know, they might be in a deck and you're trying to figure out what your player order is. Not really sure on that. So, but all right, let's see if we can get this little deck opened up. All right, slide you right down the side over here. Okay. And what do we have? Okay, so these cards are all going to be the same type, or at least they have the same on the back. And what do we have? So let's turn these over. I don't think there's anything different on that very top. I'm trying to figure out what the difference is between all these cards. They're all just a bunch of leaves. So, let's see. So we got single leaves. Then we're going to go down. Now we're going to get these double leaves. So I don't know what any of these cards mean at all. That's really unique. All right. So what are we going to get here? A little scorpion. See, and these, they all look the same except for your little scorpion that you have. And what else are we going to have? Okay. And then there's a double scorpion. Oh, what else do we have down here? Okay. So now we're going to have these twos. So plus twos. And that's it. I don't know what these mean. I'm hoping you guys can figure out what these cards mean, because I don't know. So, all right, let's go ahead and put them right here for right now. Or are these actually going to fit this way? They might actually fit that way. I'd rather do that because I want to try to keep them safe. All right. Now these cards, we're just going to set these right in here on the top of that. I think they're going to go right there. And then we're going to take this tray. Let's push it off to the side. Let's take its lid and let's put it back over here. Okay. So that way we have the lid back on that. And then don't got to worry about anything bad happening there. So what do we have underneath there? Looks like we're going to have a little protector. That's going to go off to the side. And here's your board. All right. So it looks like, yep, we're going to have all those different pieces are going to slot in. And I'm guessing they're going to be random every single time you put them in there. So let's put that off to the side. And let's take a look at our board pieces. Okay. So let's see if we can get that opened up. All right. So yeah, having these boards kind of randomized out on the map, that actually may make a huge difference as far as, who's adjacency for this or that or whatever. I don't know. But, okay, let's just put them right there. So that way we can take a look at them. All right, so it looks like I got the pools, going to have your abyss. Nothing on the backside. Okay. There we go. Not really sure. So actually, it may be a specific way they go, because you got your 1, 2, you got your 3, 4. All right. You're going to have your force, you're going to have your quest deck. Yeah, so I'm guessing they have certain ways these have to actually go on the board because they're going to follow your numbering. But the nice thing is you're going to go to different locations. You're going to be able to pick up different cards. That's what it's looking like to me. So the map's always going to be looking the same. You're just going to the different areas for that. Very nice. Cool. Those look really good. Love the artwork in this. The artwork looks fantastic. All right. And let's go ahead and stick these back in their little place. Put them in their little home. We're going to come down over here, and I bet this is the first player marker. That's going to be my guess. Look at that. That is a nice, huge, chunky coin. Nice. Very nice. High quality right there. That is thick and that is heavy. And there you go. That looks like that's everything for this game. Okay. And I'll tell you what, it looks very fascinating to me. So let's get this put back in here. Let's put this in here to protect everything. Okay. So we're going to have our little tray. I'm not really sure what we're putting in here. I didn't really see. Is there anything underneath this thing? Let me just verify. We have no tokens we're punching out or anything else. So just making sure we're not missing anything. All right. So if this comes out, yep. See, there's nothing underneath. All right. I guess we're going to figure that one out a little bit later. Okay. Sometimes these things just look like you're missing something because I don't see what would actually go here. So let's get this tray put back in here. All right. We have our advertisement. I always keep my advertisements. All right. And our rule book. And there you go. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Veiled Fate by Ivy Studios. Tell you what, it looks really interesting. I love the artwork. I love the way that board looks. And it's going to be kind of really neat having all the different cards and everything else around that. It's just really fascinating. Let's flip this thing over. But yeah, you can kind of see how it's all going to set up right there. But if you're going to have your different quest decks around, very nice. So this is a unique deduction game. Excited to give this one a try. So I'll tell you what, let's head back up top and let's close this thing out. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is Veiled Fate by Ivy Studios. And I'll tell you what, the game looks fantastic. Looking at the cards and just the symbology on them and everything else, it's really intriguing to think how everything is going to work. How's all that going to go together? How are pieces going to, how's it going to mesh? I mean, it's just fascinating that, I'll tell you what, I got to say, I give the designers credit because it's just amazing in how they can come up with some of these ideas that are so unique and just amazing looking. And I can't wait to get this one played. It looks like it's a totally different take on social deduction game. So I'm curious to see actually how it plays. Super excited for it, and it looks fantastic to boot. All right, so there you go. Well, thank you once again for joining us today on The Discriminating Gamer. As always, we please ask you like this video on YouTube, Board Game Geek, on Facebook, on X. We also please ask you leave us a comment on any of those platforms. We love to hear from you, and we'll get to those comments just as soon as we can. And also, if you are not a subscriber to the channel, we please ask you join our family, click the subscription button. And also, if you click the notification bell, you'll get notified of whenever we drop new videos. And also, ladies and gentlemen, if you like the content that I provide you here, I do have another channel where I go through a lot of my own personal stuff in my own gaming library. I'll have a link down in the description for that channel, and that's just at my YouTube channel, Ray Fate. And also, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoy the content we provide you here, we humbly ask you to click on the Super Thanks button and leave a tip. You know, I got an email the other day saying that Google Maps can read maps backwards. It's obviously spam.
Please somebody help me on my feet again, and I don't know where I'm going, and I don't know where I've been.
In Moonrakers from 4 Studios, 1 to 5 players take on the roles of various space mercenaries as they attempt to fulfill various contracts, negotiate with partners, and hopefully score the most